Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but my right eye is swollen. So it's been swollen for the last day. I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know, it could be some dust that's actually in the eye. I've tried to wash it out today and it's felt a little bit better. I'm not trying to be here complaining, but regardless, we're gonna be putting out that content. So it's not gonna stop us from pushing out content, giving you guys as much value as possible so you guys are informed and making good property decisions. So in this video, I'm going to be just talking about why property ownership is important and what it can do for you. So what I want to say first is I don't know any person that's owned property for a long period of time and regret it. I don't know one person. And I've been to multiple networking events. At this point, I've been to hundreds of property events and I've spoken to countless people, and I've never once heard someone that's actually owned a property for a long period of time, and I'm talking 5+ years to be honest, say, man, I wish I never bought a property. Now, are there things they might do different? Sure. You know, I've spoken on this channel openly about why I would never buy a leasehold again. But even with my leasehold, I've still cash flow from that, made profit from that every single month, and it's still going up in value somewhat as well. So that even isn't the worst deal ever. So I just really want to hone in on the point on why it's important. And regardless of whether you own the property to live in or you buy the property to invest in, provided you're not buying an absolute bad property in a bad location, usually you'll do well. Property is forgiving. And the reason why it's so forgiving is because, number one, it goes up in value over time. So historically, property prices in the UK have doubled every 10 years. So that means if today you were to purchase a property for £300,000, in 10 years' time, if past performance was an indicator of the future, that property could be worth £600,000. There are people that have purchased their properties 25, 30 years ago where their properties have now 8 to 10x. Properties in London in the 90s were worth less than £100,000, and those same properties are worth £600,000, £700,000, £800,000. So people have just built long-term wealth by buying properties. And again, I mentioned, even if you don't buy it to ever invest, you still are going to be able to just build wealth by that capital appreciation. Because if you buy a property to live in, and it goes up in value over time, you can actually leverage that property. It's what I did with the property that I live in. So I purchased this property 8 years ago, and it's gone up in value in those last 8 years. And twice I've released equity. So the first time it was £25,000, the second time was £50,000. And I used that to buy 5 more properties that all cash flow for me. That was due to my first property going up in value. If you buy an investment property, that property is likely to also go up in value as well, but you're going to benefit from the cash flow as well. So you're winning both sides. Property is also an inflation hedge. If you have a mortgage on a property and it's an investment property, that mortgage, even if it's on an interest-only payment, so interest-only is basically when you pay only the interest, but you don't actually pay down that mortgage. So let me give you an example. So let's say you've got a mortgage of £150,000 and the property is worth £200,000, and you put £50,000 deposit on that property, and it's an investment property. So you've put down 25% as a deposit, which is typical for a buy-to-let. So you've got £150,000 mortgage, but you're only paying interest only. So you're only paying the interest on that mortgage. So you're never paying that mortgage down. Now, although that mortgage and that debt will sit there, £150,000 now is worth more than what £150,000 will be worth in 10 years time, in 20 years time. And this is due to inflation. So the longer you have that mortgage for £150,000, the less it's actually worth. So again, property is a great inflation hedge as well. So I just want to hone on the point that if you are someone that's looking to buy their first property, whether it's a property to live in, whether it's a property to invest in, just know that by doing it, by taking action and by acquiring that first property, you really set yourself up. Now, if you do want extra help with buying your first property, I've got How to Buy Your First Residential Starter Guide here. That just talks through step by step what you should be looking for in your first residential property, the different costs to account for, the mistakes you want to avoid, and the people you want to be leveraging as well. And if you're looking to buy your first investment property, I've also got a starter guide there as well. Again, you can find that where it details what you should be looking for in your first buy to let. Again, the costs that you should be thinking about, power team that you need, and again, first time investor, common mistakes to avoid as well. And you can find both these guides in my description. So hopefully this video helped you understand why property ownership is important and how it can really set you up for life and change your financial future in the long term. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and if you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.